All right, if you're investing in Japanese property, you're going to want to pay close attention. There's a fundamental shift happening right now in construction costs, and it's something that will directly impact your strategy. So let's just dive right in. So here's the big puzzle we need to solve. All around the world, key material prices, things like steel, are dropping. Now, logic would say that should mean construction gets cheaper, right? But in Japan, the exact opposite is happening. New building prices are staying stubbornly high. So what's really going on here? And this really lays out the contradiction perfectly. On one hand, you have the global trend. Steel and rebar prices are coming down. But then you look at Japan, and the overall construction cost indexes is still climbing up. So what force is strong enough to push Japanese costs up against this global tide? To solve this puzzle, we've got to look a bit deeper. You know, this isn't just a temporary blip. It's really a sign of a major structural change in the Japanese market. Well, it turns out the answer is hiding in plain sight, right inside Japan's official construction cost index. And what it shows is that there isn't just one single trend. Instead, there are two powerful opposing forces battling it out. Let's break those down. The best way to picture this is like a massive tug of war over the final price tag of a new building. You've got global forces on one side, trying to pull costs down. And on the other side, you've got domestic pressures pulling them right back up. And these aren't just vague forces. The downward pressure, that's coming almost entirely from global materials like steel. But the upward pressure is all homegrown. We're talking about rising labor costs, driven by a nationwide shortage, which has a huge knock-on effect for things like concrete and the formwork needed to shape it. So which side is winning this tug-of-war? And, well, it's not even close. The effect of those falling material prices is tiny, almost nothing. Meanwhile, the impact from labor and other domestic costs, it's massive. This is without a doubt the dominant force. The domestic labor market is now setting the price for new construction in Japan, period. Now, here's the crucial part for you as an investor. This trend doesn't affect every type of building equally. Depending on what's in your portfolio or what you're thinking about buying, the impact is going to be very, very different. Let's see how this plays out. Okay, here's the practical breakdown. You have S-frame buildings, think steel frame structures, your typical office towers. They rely heavily on steel, so they're getting some relief from those falling global prices. But RC, or reinforced concrete buildings, we're talking residential condos here, that's a completely different story. Their costs are all about concrete and formwork, which makes them super sensitive to those soaring domestic labor costs. Bottom line, new condos are facing way more cost pressure than new office buildings are. So what we're all witnessing here isn't just a temporary spike. It is a long-term, fundamental shift in what drives the cost of construction in Japan. This timeline really shows the evolution so clearly. A year ago, the big problem was expensive equipment because of all the global supply chain headaches. That's stabilized now. Today, and for the foreseeable future, the entire story is about core construction costs being driven up by Japan's persistent labor shortage. The problem has shifted from being global and temporary to local and structural. So, what does this all mean for your investment decisions? Let's boil this all down into some clear, actionable intelligence for you. First off, let's give this whole phenomenon a name. We are now in a labor-driven, high-cost structure. This is the new reality. It's a market where you just can't assume that cheaper materials from overseas will mean cheaper buildings in Japan. Domestic labor is in the driver's seat now. So here's your final briefing. Number one, high prices for new builds are not a blip. They are the new normal, so don't wait for them to crash. Two, your choice of asset really matters. New condominiums are going to feel this pressure a lot more than new offices. Three, your focus has to shift. Stop watching international steel prices and start tracking Japanese labor market data. And finally, number four, every acquisition plan you make from now on has to be based on this new high-cost reality. The days of expecting deflation to lower your entry price for new assets, they're over. And that leaves us with the critical question for every single investor looking at Japan right now. If the price of building anything new is going to stay high because of these structural domestic factors, where do you even hunt for value? Does this push you towards buying existing assets, or does it just change the map on which new developments are actually worth pursuing? That is the new equation that you now have to solve.